All right. And
Hello, happy Monday.
happy Monday, Jennifer. I am so excited to chat with you and to introduce the Talent Brand Alliance to you as a facilitator. I know you've been in this industry for quite some time. You've been at Dell for quite some time. Um,
Yes.
so tell me, my first question in this Q&A, and then we'll take some live questions if people come in as well.
Okay.
Um, how did you get into this field? I always love asking people this because everyone's gotten sort of differently. And so, what got
Yeah.
you into employer branding and into talent branding there at Dell?
Total mistake. No, it wasn't a total mistake. It was a kind of a cool evolution or journey. I've been at Dell for 14 years. I've been in the recruiting industry for about 20. When I say 20, I go, oh gosh, am I that old? But that's sort of the big picture of it. And in 2009, Dell acquired Perot Systems, and at that time, that was kind of our big, huge, bold acquisition. And we realized we needed to create more global teams and functions. And up until that time, recruiting at Dell had not been a global function. We had not had a global leader. We had not had what we call a COE, right? A center of excellence. So in 2010, that was formed with all of these kind of reorgs and the globalization of the organization. And I had a relationship with somebody that was in that newly formed COE, and he was like, "Hey, you've got a recruiting background, you've got L&D and talent management, and you've got program and project management. We have this new role we're creating. We don't really know exactly what's going to transpire, but it's going to be mostly employment brand." So he described it to me as a little bit of recruiting with a little bit of marketing, and of course it's a lot of marketing. So that's been my learning curve as an HR person, but that's basically when it happened. So that was, oh my gosh, over 7 years ago that I moved
Wow.
into this new group. Yeah, it was an individual contributor role. So I basically, the first project I had was to revamp our corporate careers website.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
funny. I think we started in around the same time because
Yeah.
at VMware is at that same time here in Austin, and you know I came in and that was really one of my first things was the career website as well, and it just sort of the role sort of just grew from there, and you
Yep.
started to build a team, and that's awesome. I think there's a lot of people that are in that same boat that are now getting into this profession. There's starting to be some best practices. It's really becoming like a specific role in the industry, and so I think that's why we have the Talent Brand Alliance now. Why we're doing this summit to get everyone together. And
Absolutely.
to go with that, tell us like what is exciting you about participating in Talent Brand Summit.
Oh my gosh, there's a whole list, but I'll keep it brief.
Okay.
First of all, it's in my backyard. So I live here in usually sunny, warm Austin. It hasn't been sunny and warm over the weekend, but in June it's going to be incredible and gorgeous. So, of course, there's a convenience factor, and Austin is also a cool place. It's a cool place to host people who have never been here before. I hear time and time again, and I'm sure you do as well, Will. Oh, you live in Austin. That's on my bucket list. Oh, you live in Austin. I went there years ago to visit my friend who went to UT and I've never been back. I've heard it's changed a lot. Which the answer is yes to all of those. So it's just a really great place to visit. I'm also excited about the format of the event. So I have found in attending a number of different events that the events where you have a really high degree of networking and best practice sharing are the ones that people walk away with the most learnings and the most sort of ideas, and they're all their back and front pockets, right? And so I have been to events that are sort of unconference or that aren't really presentation heavy, where you just have one person sort of saying, "This is what we've done, now go forth and prosper." It's more conversational, it's heavy dialogue. You're hearing not just from the facilitator, but from the people at your table. Those are kind of the conferences that I've personally gotten the most out of. And I want to see our group take that direction more and more, because I think we'll all sort of walk away from those types of sessions all the better.
Yeah, that's great. We're getting
Yeah.
a few people commenting that we're having some issues with the video feed through Zoom,
Okay.
and it might be frozen. So no worries. We're also recording this,
Okay.
um, and we'll post it that way as well. But no, I think
I hope my face
I
is
love that.
frozen in a really awful expression. Like I'm just like, ah.
I
Kidding,
doubt it. I doubt
but
it.
yeah.
No, we're so. I mean, those are some of the reasons that the reasons that you're excited are some of the reasons why we did this format. I mean, like yourself, Brian and I have been to and spoken at dozens of conferences, and they're great.
Yeah.
It's a great format, but when thinking about this event, we were thinking like, what are the things about conferences that we love the most? Can we build uh, an event that is just does those things? And it
Mhm.
was the roundtable collaboration. It was the networking and creating shared activities. It was how organically we sort of created a tribe at these places, and then in addition to the conference, we would go and do shared activities together, like go to a conference or go to a concert, or go out to a happy hour together. And we want to be able to just facilitate that for everyone, and that everyone become a part of the same tribe at this event. So I love that what you're excited about, because I am too.
I
All right.
think one of the things that's difficult for a facilitator as well as an audience member is a facilitator, I will readily admit, does not have all the answers. There is no secret sauce. Every company is different. And so when you have more of a conversational based event, you as even as the person facilitating maybe the conversation, you're like, oh wow, like I just learned something really cool that XYZ company did that we hadn't thought of. Or, there's more spontaneous of an element and more dynamic of an element to the event and the conversation, and things may come up that you never planned for, where with a traditional presentation, it's completely planned. You have slides, you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to say. There might be some Q&A at the end.
Yeah.
Usually that's cut off. You're
Yeah.
usually given the hook. And so that's just, again, my feedback and my experience. That's why when Brian originally approached me and he was like, this is going to be a different format, this isn't going to
Yeah.
be the traditional conference, I was like, sign me up.
I like it. It's like there's less structure, but there's still a structure to it, and
Totally.
for everything we're doing. But there's less structure in the fact that the the content can come from anywhere. That the attendees are also speakers
Yep.
and contributors and collaborators. The facilitator is merely the conduit to help make conversations and make it as value adding as it can be for everybody, which is I think it's going to make for a really, really fun time. All right. Well, cool.
Absolutely.
Last question I have for you.
Mhm.
Give us a little sneak peek on your session. So tell us, like,
Yes.
what's this? What's the roundtable that you're doing, and what could people take away from that session?
So I'm going to be facilitating a session on employee advocacy. And I remember having a conversation with both you and with Brian about, what topics make the most sense for facilitators. And I'm just super passionate about employee advocacy on kind of many different levels. I was just having a conversation with someone on my team earlier about it today, and I got really excited. And I kind of can't help myself, but your employees are really kind of the barometer for how the market sees you. And, at Dell, for example, 40% of our external hires come from referrals, which is really great and exciting. And I think part of that is attributed to how our employees are feeling and how comfortable they are with the referral program and how they talk about the organization and how they understand the mission and the values of the organization. And so, how do you harness the power of your employees and their voice and the relationships that they have with people that you and your corporate accounts don't necessarily have, is I think going to be kind of the really fun part of the discussion. Some companies have contests, some companies have really formal programs. We've done some really cool things at Dell that I'm excited to share, but again, we don't know everything. We're not God. So I'm looking forward to what other people have to share around how they leverage their employees.
That's great because it's really central to everything when you're talking about talent
Yes.
branding because your employees, I mean, they are the story like that's
Yes.
being told, right? They are the source of content. They are the source of what the culture is. There's no way to kind of get an authentic, true story of what it's like to work somewhere without employees being bought in,
Mhm.
understanding what's going on, what their role is, and how they can participate. So I really look forward to this session. Thank you so much for coming and chatting with us today.
You're
Again,
welcome.
you guys, the couple housekeeping things. The early bird pricing ends in like 2 weeks. Oh, March 1st is the deadline. So save 300
Hurry, hurry, hurry.
by doing it now. Yes, tickets are starting to sell out on those early birds. So get going, and we hope to see you guys here in Austin on June 13th. We Brian and I went and did a tour of the facility last Friday. I posted a few pics in the group and some other places. It's going to be really cool. Like not only we're going to have a format to this event that's very unique, the venue is extremely unique to a typical conference venue I think you've gone to before. I mean, lots of fun activities to do. We may even have at the end of the conference an Iron Chef competition.
Oh, I will lose that, by the way.
Well, hey, you may be surprised at your salsa making skills and your margarita making skills, and be on a team that might win. So we'll see. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Jennifer.
All right.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye, everyone.